Hello everybody, my name is yesfull, and today you're here because you're taking your first steps into a much larger world. That world is PC gaming, and you need to know where to begin, right? Well, we're going to start you off with the stores, where to get your games so you can even start playing them. In the next video we'll talk about the whole process and getting everything set up. So, for now, this is where you can go. Steam is the big one. The one where everybody's on it, everybody has one, everybody uses it. You probably know what it is. Of course, up here you can set up where you can set your account up, install the client, so you can start doing it. Right now they're running their summer sale, so you might want to hop on that ASAP. And you know, they're gonna have pretty much every major game on here, minus a few, and we'll get into those few actually right now. So, going over to the next one, this one's Uplay. Uplay is basically Ubisoft's version of Steam, only for Ubisoft games, right? So, it's cool, it has a friends list system, same thing as Steam. It has the store, social stuff, everything in it, and you can run your games from it. You know, and in some cases you can get most of the, in a lot of cases actually you can get most of those games on Steam anyway, so it kind of becomes redundant, but they do have some good deals sometimes, and that's kind of a reason to buy games from them. Blizzard, of course, everybody knows Blizzard. They do Overwatch, World of Warcraft, the whole nine. Blizzard does not run under Steam. They have their own client you have to go through, so of course you're going to have to set up your Blizzard account, download their launcher, and then you can get the games you pay for. So like if you go out Overwatch, you'd run it on the launcher. The next one is Origin. Origin is run by EA. This is where you can get all of the Origin games. Same thing as the other ones. You have your social features, you have your friends list all within their client, and you can see here, this is all the games they offer. Some of the EA games are on Steam, but a lot of the newer ones or their bigger titles are not on Steam. So like Anthem will never be on Steam, more than likely. Sims isn't on Steam. You know, Madden's might be, and FIFA's, I don't know, I don't play those games, but you get my point. It's not, most of these games are not going to be on Steam when they're newer. Now we're going to get into the stores that are not tied directly to a client, like, you know, like EA, Origin, and Blizzard and Ubisoft and all that. This one's called Humble Bundle, and what's cool about this is it does have a store, but what it's most known for is running bundles, so you can get bundles for relatively cheap. Right now they don't have very many game ones, or any game ones at the moment. They're kind of side things, but you can get the principle here if I click on it. You can usually pay $1 more and you'll get a group of selected items, and if you pay the next price up and more, you'll end up able to get the next set of items. So it's really cool. Right now, they're not running many game bundles with this and other side things, but they do always run their subscription service, where you can subscribe and you get a lot of games. June's is over now. This one came with Destiny and a few other games. Their next one right now has Hearts of Iron, Black Wake, Portal Knights, and who knows what else. The rest are a mystery, and that'll be for next month. And that's pretty cool. Any of the games you get will be able to be basically you get your product key. You put your product key into the respective store. So say with Destiny, I put it into the Battle.net or the Blizzard client, right? For Dead Rising 2, I would put that into the Steam client, and so on. So the next store is a little bit more of a traditional store. It's reminiscent of, like, you know, GameStop store or anything like that. This one is Green Man Gaming. It's not as popular, but it does have some decent deals from time to time, and it's just a good one to check when you're really like desperate to find a game and you're like, well, I can't seem to find a good deal on it, and sometimes they will be that one that has that good deal. There's not much else to really say about them. They're good. They have their options. They're just a normal store. Nothing else goes on. Also, one thing that's kind of cool about Humble Bundle, part of your purchases goes towards charities, and you know, those charities if you're choosing in certain cases. Then you have GOG. GOG is really cool because it's more for older titles. It does have its own clients you can download, but it is a DRM free service, so it's really just for downloading the games. It does have some newer ones, like you can see here, it's got Witcher 3, but most of the titles on here are older or indie. And the cool thing about it, compared to like Steam, if you buy the same game on Steam, aside from the fact that they might have a better deal here or not, is the fact that they actually do tweak the game a bit to run better on more modern systems, where Steam just will give you the old game, and unless the developers made a patch for it, it's not guaranteed to run really well on your system. Even though it's an older game, you'd think it would run perfectly. They don't always, because older games were full of a lot of more issues, and especially when it comes to running on newer hardware that they were never designed to run on. But GOG usually, when they release those games, they will solve a lot of those problems and they will run pretty well. Those are really the main stores that are not built into the OS, and there's one more. It's the one that's built into the OS. This store is Microsoft's store. It's basically an app store, kind of like Android or iOS's store, like, you know, Google Play games and everything. But the difference here is it does have some games and some services that you would expect to get on, say, like a console or something. So, for example, here is Call of Duty, right? This is part of the reason you can get these games through this service is because Microsoft's been pushing their UWP platform. I don't know if Call of Duty is on the UWP platform, but you can basically buy the games here, and some of them will work between your Xbox and your PC. Some of them are only PC, some of them are only Xbox. Other ones are just apps. So, like, here's your Facebook apps. You know, you got basic things you'd imagine to be on an app store. And anything that's going to be major, like AAA title games, you know, you're going to need to be able to sign in with your Microsoft account. So the one you'd have for your Xbox Live. And one benefit here, if you're playing it through your PC, you don't have to pay for Xbox Live. So there's an awesome benefit. That's pretty much it as far as where to go to get your games. In the next section, we will talk about how to organize your games. If you're running a multi-hard drive system, let's talk about how to get them organized when you install these applications so you can take advantage of that extra space. If you don't have any extra hard drives and you're ready to go, or you don't need really any other advice for this, you just now that you got started, you're ready to go running, you can leave now. I hope you stay yesfull and never stop learning. Have a good one. Okay, so now that you've got your clients installed, so you should have Steam and whatever else you want installed, let's now talk about organizing your folders. So you're going to open up your File Explorer, which is right down here. You're going to go to this PC. If you only see one hard drive, then you only have one. But if you see multiple, you either have a partition drive or multiple hard drives. They're going to act the same regardless. So, let's talk real quick about the C drive. The C drive is where your main OS and generally your files are installed, or your programs are installed. So right here you can see program files and program files x86. If I click on it, you can see here I have multiple programs installed. I want to tell, I don't care as much if my, like, you know, Steam or Blizzard is installed in there, but I want to install my games because they're very large on my entertainment drive. And real quick, if you want to rename it, you can right click and click rename. So we'll go here real quick. Now I added a program files and program files x86. You don't need to do that. You could make a games drive, you could just leave it blank here. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you how you want to organize it. I did it for one reason really, and that's so I can just, say I'm like, the game is giving me an option to install it, I can just delete that and click E, and it'll simply tell it to be installing here. So I don't have to go browse through all my files. I could just change a simple letter when the installer gives me an option to do that. And that depends on what I'm installing, if it's going to give me that option. So once you've created your folders, now let's open up Steam and tell it to install games there. First we're going to go up to Steam, then we're going to go to Settings, and then we're going to go to Downloads. You see Steam library folders right there. Click that. You're going to click Add Folder, and you're going to go to the respective area. So on E for me, and it was Program Files x86, and then like right down here, you should see my Steam library. You'll select that. Then you will want to make sure you right click on it and then make your default folder. After that, you can click Close, click OK, and once you've done that, Steam will now default and install onto your drive. So now we need to tell the other ones to do that too. Let's go to Ubisoft. So with Ubisoft, you're gonna go over here. I already went here, but you're gonna click on those three little dots. It doesn't matter where you are. Three little lines. It doesn't matter where you are. They're always gonna be there. So you can click that. Then you're gonna go to Settings, and you will see over here where Downloads is. It'll give you the option to select where you want to download it, right? And it won't necessarily transfer your game. Same thing with Steam. So you're going to either have to uninstall or manually move the games, and then hope there's no issues by manually moving them. And I can make a video on that process if you guys really want me to. I have a feeling most of you probably haven't downloaded anything. You've just followed my instructions, and here we are. So there you go. That's where it'll install once you tell it where to install. The next one is Blizzard. Blizzard's pretty straightforward, same kind of process. You click here, you go to Settings, and then you go to Game Install and Update, and you can set a default installation section. And then you can, if you've already had a game, this one's cool for Blizzard. If you already had a game that you installed, you can tell it the new directory, and it'll change it to it. It'll migrate it over, and that's that. Yeah, I didn't mention Origin. It was being kind of stupid for me and was like refusing the update, and it's a similar process anyway. If you guys really want me to, I can make a video on how to do it with Origin, but again, I think at this point you get the idea. Look for settings, then look for something that mentions transferring it. So sorry I couldn't show you Origin. I hope that helped you guys, and remember to stay yesfull. I'll catch you around, and never stop learning.